We have now with us Francois Malan, who is Head of Risk at Nexity, but also, and perhaps more importantly, for Amrae, an Amrae board member. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, merci.
Thank you.
I'm quite interested in this idea of certification and educating risk management, well, risk managers, and I understand that you're heavily involved with that program with Amrae at the moment.
That's right. We try at Amrae to develop the work and the job of risk manager. In fact, we try to make the job more known and more efficient. So we try to...
Is that known beyond risk management then? Known within business?
Known within risk manager, but also for human resource purpose, for our managing directors, just for them to know what is the job of a risk manager, what could be all the activities of a risk manager. So at Amrae, we wrote a little booklet, just to summarize what could be all the activities of a risk manager, from the risk analysis, risk mapping, to the risk transfer to insurance. So we put in word what we are doing on a day-to-day basis, and we try also to find the qualities of a good risk manager, the skills, the qualities, human qualities, and then also to have a common language. We wrote a glossary just to share the same notions.
And clearly, firma are also working on their own certification program, or certainly a concept of that. How does what you're doing with Amrae fit with the way in which firma is looking at this also?
We work with firma, in fact. Firma exists to support all the national associations, and as a national association, we bring them our framework to help them to build the European certifications. So we are contributors to this, and we work with them, in fact. That's the reason why also we have translated our framework into English to share what could be the ground of a certification.
Do you think, I mean, I know the goalposts have moved slightly since firma initially came up with the certification idea or announced it at Versailles 18 months ago. So, do you think it's possible that there can be an agreed framework across all the different countries?
I think it will be difficult because we have first to determine what could be the ground of a certification. We don't have the same maturity of risk management in Europe. France, England, Germany, Belgium are very mature, but we have new countries. We have not the same level. So first of all, we have to see what could be the ground of a certification. And then after, we have to determine what could be the key skills and who could appoint certification. So we are on the way to this. It's a great job, it's a huge job, so it's difficult to know if we could achieve it before the end of the year, but we are working very hard on it.
And it's never as simple as just certifying a risk manager because they've passed certain exams or achieved certain levels of qualifications. The idea of recognising the experience that some of the more mature risk managers have is also quite a difficult one to build within the certification framework, isn't it?
It's a question, Yuri. It's a point because we have risk managers who are working in the company for years, and we have young risk managers who have been trained through a training program from Amrae or other, and we have old risk manager who have a job, who has a job without sometimes diploma, without training, So we have to find a good combination between both. We have to find a way to share the same skills through formation, training, but also to recognize the skills of old risk manager or for risk manager who have done this job for a long time, in fact. So we have to find the two way of recognize the two kind of risk manager, in fact.
Okay. And just moving away for one final question on from certification, just looking at the multitude of risks that all risk managers, whether certified or not, have to deal with on a daily basis. These risks are evolving all the time. What do you think are the key, perhaps, emerging risks that risk managers, I guess particularly in France, are going to be faced with in the next 12 months?
I think in France we have a problem because we have too many laws, too much regulation, in fact, and so it's very hard to have a business on a long-term view, because you never know what could happen about tax from legal point of view. So for me, the first risk is change in regulation. The second one is the supply chain, because we are working with suppliers, and today the economic situation is not very good, so we have to be careful about the choice and the financial statement of our suppliers. So I think it's a second key risk for us. And the third one are natural events, because we have to face more and more natural events. We try to do our best to prevent against this, but sometimes nature, not sometimes, always, nature is stronger than us. So I think they are the three major risks.